couple months ago, convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh's legal team filed what sure seemed like a strong legal argument for a new trial. They allege that the court clerk improperly swayed the jurors to convict, saying things that no court official should ever say. But tonight, attorneys for the state of South Carolina are slamming Murdaugh's argument that the court clerk, Rebecca Hill, repeatedly tampered with the jury. They said all of it was for fame and money, that she landed a book deal from the case. And it was that book that apparently led to some jurors coming forward to the defense. But prosecutors had the state authorities investigate and talk to 9 other jurors, said the claims are unfounded. Writing, "Never does the law permit highly motivated convicts to put their own jury on trial." Hill, the clerk, is also finally breaking her silence and under oath in an affidavit, saying, quote, "I did not tell the jury not to be fooled by evidence presented by Mr. Murdaugh's attorneys. I did not instruct the jury to watch him closely. I did not instruct the jury to look at his actions." She continued by saying, "I did not instruct the jury to look at his movements. I did not say to the jury, this shouldn't take us so long," which is something that was mentioned by Hill herself in the second season of the Netflix documentary on the Murdaugh family.
I had a feeling from our time together with the jury out at Moselle that it was not going to take our jury long to make the decision in this case. It's just called that women's intuition.
Hill continued to deny 24 allegations included in Murdaugh's new trial motion, saying, quote, "During the trial, I did not tell members of the media, that members of the jury at the media would want to interview them at the end of the trial. I did not hand out business cards of the media. I did not tell jurors you all are going to want to hear things that will throw you all off. Don't let this distract or mislead you." Murdaugh's motion for a new trial cites sworn affidavits, including one from a juror, another from a dismissed juror, as well as excerpts from the book, which details Hill's experience overseeing the trial, etc. Murdaugh is currently serving 2 consecutive life sentences for the murders of his wife Maggie and their youngest son Paul, the family estate in 2021. Joining me now, Jesse Weber, attorney, anchor for the Law and Crime Network. He's also a NewsNation legal contributor, has been following the case closely. What'd you make of the response here?
So, I mean, I think you and I both agree when it first came out, it was a big deal, right? It's textbook, he deserves a new trial. 2 sides to every story. The thing that shocked me the most is that none of the jurors, even the ones who claim that Rebecca Hill made comments, said their decision was swayed or influenced by that, or swayed or influenced by any outside factors.
But I wonder whether, even if they were, they wouldn't admit it. Right? Like they could say,
what do they have to lose? Well, I mean, they could say, listen, we were put in an uncomfortable position. What are we supposed to do? She came forward and pressured us. And by the way, one of the jurors who claims that Rebecca Hill made these comments says, I was pressured by the other jurors to vote in favor of guilt. That's a big admission. Now, under the law,
you're allowed to. Jurors are allowed to pressure other jurors.
Yeah. But that juror doesn't know what the law is. Right. And so, I mean, there's that. She gives a sworn affidavit, which is a big deal, saying she denies any of this. And then
because she could be charged with perjury if it's proven that any of it's false.
Exactly. So for her to come forward and do that is a big deal. And then this other juror who was actually kicked off the case, and there was this claim that did Rebecca Hill fabricate a story about this juror to purposely get her kicked off the case because this juror might have been sympathetic to Alex Murdaugh. It turns out that juror, who's now said, well, Rebecca Hill made some comments, was questioned during the trial and said Hill never made any comments. So there's serious credibility issues here. I think the state came back with a phenomenal response to what I thought was a big allegation from the defense.
Here's Rebecca Hill discussing writing her book during an interview in August.
You've just released this book, Behind the Doors of Justice. Why did you write it?
How could I not? This was the trial of the century.
Yes, it was.
And it was something that has never been in our parts of town before.
As you were sitting there day after day, were you thinking about this would make an amazing story? I should write a book.
I was. You just can't make this stuff up. And you wouldn't want to because it was very tragic.
You know, it's interesting because when I saw the interviews that she did after the defense's motion came out, I was watching interviews like that thinking, oh, this is really bad. Right now that I've heard her side, I'm like, it's not that bad.
No, it's still bad judgment. I don't think the court clerk should have written a book about the biggest case, but at the same time,
court clerks write books and high-profile jurors write books, lawyers write books, but that's very different than pressuring. Now, part of the issue is that she actually went with some of the jurors to some of the media appearances.
Yeah,
which is
it's strange.
odd.
It's strange. Look, I think at the end of the day, this is all a question: is he going to get a new trial? I don't think he automatically gets a new trial. I do think he's going to get an evidentiary hearing where they're going to hear both sides, determine what's what, and then see if he gets a new trial. But based on what the state has come forward with, I don't think it's enough anymore that he can get a new trial.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I thought this was like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I thought it was Murdaugh point too.
Exactly.
I was like, can't wait to see you, Dan.
Right.
We're going to come back on.
The clerk is like encouraging jurors.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.